Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 116. This time I read Fantastic Four 181. My copy, pretty nice condition, although it does have a very, very bad defect, and we'll get to that shortly, but otherwise, it's pretty nice. This issue picks up where 2 issues ago left off. The issue before this, they reprinted Fantastic Four 101 because Roy Thomas, the writer, missed his deadline for getting the issue written on time, I guess. So this issue actually picks up where 2 issues ago left off. Got a brand new cover by Jack Kirby and Joe Sinnott. Decent cover. So this would be what? The first issue? This is the very first issue to hit the stands in the year 1977. So since this is April, you rewind 3 months or whatever. So this would have probably hit the stands in January of 77. The King Kong movie. I just saw on YouTube last night. I think it was YouTube or Facebook. I saw a reel or a video showing the original teaser trailer for the first Star Wars film. And I guess this movie had that was the first movie in theaters to have that Star Wars teaser trailer. So that was pretty neat. Here we go. And while pace setter George Perez nurses an ailing drawing hand, what say we rock it right along? So George Perez has been drawing off and on the Fantastic Four, but there's been a few fill-in issues, and it seems like it's always Ron Wilson doing the fill-ins. Ron Wilson started drawing Fantastic Four quite a while before this, and he was regular penciler for a while. Then he left. George Perez came on, did a few issues. Then Ron Wilson came back and did the fill-ins until George Perez had time to come back. So Ron Wilson never really left Fantastic Four. He's been on it all along. Roy Thomas, this is his final issue. He's been writing the Fantastic Four pretty much the whole time I've been doing this Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order video series. So this is the final issue that he will be writing. He's just too busy. Like he missed the script deadline for last issue, so obviously he's busy. Like he's writing Conan, Red Sonja, and who knows what all else. He's very busy. I think he writes like the bullpen bulletins, stuff like that. He answers all the letters in the comics that he writes. Like he's pretty busy, so he can be forgiven for letting a title like Fantastic Four or any of the titles go because he's just overworked at this point. Well, we start off in the negative zone where R. Reed Richards has been trapped in his underwear, being attacked by Annihilus. It's funny. He's floating around in space in the negative zone on this like rock asteroid thing, and he's able to start a fire. He was able 2 issues ago. He was able to catch a bat to roast to eat. It's just kind of comic book logic. But Annihilus is attacking him not because he wants to destroy Reed Richards, which Reed thinks is the case, but it turns out that Annihilus needs Reed Richards' help. And that's going to be a little cliffhanger for a while as we turn back to the Thing, who's climbing out of the New York harbor with Tigra on his back. They 2 issues ago defeated this golden 10-foot tall robot that had broken out of a bank in downtown Manhattan or something like that. And they were able to defeat the robot and send him to the bottom of the bay. The military showed up, and the military wants the robot. So the Coast Guard is having the Thing help them drag the robot up out of the harbor, up out of the water. Meanwhile, this has made the news. The Impossible Man back at the Baxter Building with Titania. They're watching this unfold on television. So Impossible Man turns himself into a fantastic car. Titania hops on, and they head on over to where the Thing is on the boat with the Coast Guard. And Impossible Man decides he's going to help them because the net broke when they were trying to haul this really heavy robot out of the water. So Impossible Man's going to help them out. Here's where the fatal flaw in this issue occurs. Look at that. I did not know that until I went to read it. It was the order form for this page of toys. So somebody must have ordered a Captain America car or a Hulk Power Shield or a 1976 comic price guide, buyer's guide, whatever. Somebody ordered something cool. So, but I only missed this one panel, and you can kind of figure out what happens. So it's not a big deal, but disappointing, a little disappointing. Here's some of the real meat and potatoes drama right here between the fake Reed and Sue. She is starting to suspect that the Reed Richards that is home here in the Baxter Building with them is not the real Reed Richards. A few issues back, the Frightful Four attacked the Fantastic Four, and they recruited Reed Richards from Counter Earth. It's another Earth created by the High Evolutionary on the other side of our sun. And the Reed Richards from that Earth is evil, and he came here and joined the Frightful Four and kicked the real Reed Richards into the negative zone, and is now posing as the real Reed Richards to the rest of the team. But Sue, after sleeping with this guy, kissing him, she slept with him, I think, 2 issues ago. I'm pretty sure that's what was implied. She's starting to suspect he's not the real Reed, so she's getting away. And this Reed Richards realizes that she's catching on to him, and he says she's got to die too. He wants to kill all the Fantastic Four. Yeah, it's quite the predicament. So Sue, in order to get away from Reed, she heads over to Alicia Masters' apartment where her son, little Franklin Richards, is staying overnight. She's unloading on Alicia about her troubles with Reed, and right about then, Franklin's original governess / babysitter, Agatha Harkness, the witch, shows up, and she says, "I got to take your kid." And of course, Sue Storm says, "No, you're not." But Agatha Harkness is able to defeat her and disappear with her child. Very traumatic. So we're left with that cliffhanger. Meanwhile, Johnny Storm, he's been kind of just a sad sack for the last, I don't know how long, but he's all about Frankie Ray. Frankie Ray is a girl that he went on a date with. She found out that he's the Human Torch. She's afraid of fire, so she dumped him, and he can't take that kind of a rejection. So he's being a creep. He's stalking her, basically going to the park right next to where she lives, hoping that he'll spot her. And of course, he does spot her in the park walking with another guy, which makes him mad. But the fact that he's there makes Frankie Ray even more mad and tells him to get the heck out. And he takes off, but he vows that he's not done with this. He's not done with this yet. He's going to figure out why Frankie won't date him, even though he knows it's because he turns into the Human Torch and she's afraid of fire. Yeah, it's kind of a weird subplot. Makes Johnny Storm look like a little brat, but whatever. Cut back to the harbor where we're trying to haul the robot out of the river. The army's now shown up, and they're saying they're taking the robot to study. And the Thing says, "No, I'm taking the robot back to the Baxter Building for Reed Richards to study, because that's the way it works. I defeated the robot. I get to take the robot," is the Thing's thinking. So he attacks the army, and since Titania has a crush on him, she immediately starts attacking the army as well. They smash a tank, and right about then, what do we find out here? The chief of police yells while everybody's fighting. Yells, the robot wasn't breaking into the bank; he was breaking out of the bank. So now everybody's confused, and that's how we stop on that cliffhanger. Cut back to the beginning of the story. Reed and Annihilus in the negative zone. We find out why Annihilus wants Reed's help, it's because the Mad Thinker is going to take over the Negative Zone, and Annihilus wants Reed's help in defeating him. And that is how this issue is left off. And then Roy, special note, with this issue, and with more than a few regrets, the time-beleaguered writer-editor Roy Thomas takes his leave as scripter of the fabled FF. In other words, let's see Archie and Len claw their way out of this tangled skein. Which I hope this was all in good fun. When I got to this issue, I was pretty sure it was going to be Roy Thomas' last issue or close to it, but turns out it is his last issue. So I was like, well, he's probably going to wrap up a bunch of these dangling plot threads he's left over the last several issues, and he doesn't. He makes quite a mess and leaves them all like dangling for whoever's coming on next to clean up, which is kind of a dick move. But at the same time, editorial should be able to keep it straight and on the tracks. But Len Wein is going to take over next issue. Archie Goodwin's the editor-in-chief, or the editor at least, of this title. So I'm sure they'll be able to keep it on track and pick up where Roy left off. But it just seems like he left the title in quite a mess when he left, which was, I don't know if they were mad at him for it, but I think I would have been a little upset if I was the incoming writer. Like, what the heck did you leave me with? Some interesting things here in the bullpen bulletins for the beginning of 1977. Stan Lee announces that he is going to work on a novel-length story of the Silver Surfer with Jack Kirby. So supposedly at this point, they're going to have it done by the end of 77, they're thinking. I don't know. Did that ever happen? I don't think it did. I think Jack Kirby got mad and left Marvel again before it could happen. I think. I'm not sure. Papa Rick, do you know? So that was Stan's contribution to the bullpen bulletins. They make an announcement for the Human Fly. A couple of years ago, I started collecting the Human Fly comics, and I have an entire run. So they must be getting ready to start up here in 1977. So I'll be able to add my Human Fly comics to the Old Nerd Reads His Marvel Comics in Order video series here soon, I'm guessing. I'll have to look into it to see exactly what month the Human Fly starts. What else in here? I guess that's about it, really. They're talking about all the annuals that they're going to do this summer. Everybody gets an annual, basically. All these titles: Avengers, Howard the Duck, Captain America, Hulk, Defenders, Thor, Eternals, Fantastic Four, Invaders, Iron Man, Conan. Lots of annuals getting made this year for the summer. Was there anything interesting in the letters page? So here's Roy's departure letter, I guess you'd call it, his resignation letter, maybe. Requiem for a Rascally Writer. With this issue delayed 1 month due to my own personal run-in with the dreaded Deadline Doom, I take my leave as writer-editor of Fantastic Four. Again, originally I had planned to make issue 178 my final FF tale, at least for the present, but circumstances beyond my control led to my writing the past couple of issues as well. Not that I minded a lot. The FF has always been one of my favorite mags, mostly because the ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing has been, since the early 1960s, one of my favorite superheroes of all time. And I think that was probably true for a lot of Marvel readers back in the day, because the Thing seems to be, from what I'm gathering, reading my Marvel comics in order from this era, the mid-70s on up, at this time, like Marvel 2-in-1 is a big title. The Thing is front and center in most of the Fantastic Four comics. Like the Thing was a favorite to readers and creators alike, I believe, at this time. So he kind of, like, once the 80s got going, I think the Thing just kind of fell out of favor with fans and writers alike. and he had his own title in the 80s for a couple years, but once that was over, he was just relegated to the pages of the Fantastic Four after that. So, what else does Roy say? Still, other projects beckon, and I felt that I could use a change, so that if I do return as FF scripter in the future, I'll have a new slant on things. For myself, I'll be concentrating on a certain barbarian named Conan in both his 30-cent and $1 monthly incarnations, on such Marvel Premiere projects as the 3D Man and others, on the upcoming adaptation of the sci-fi movie blockbuster Star Wars. That'll be coming out soon. I'll be able to add that to this video series as well, because I have all the Star Wars comics. On special issues of What If, which he kind of got started. He got that title going. And he teases that a Fantastic Four issue of What If is coming up. Red Sonja, our sword-wielding she-devil. The editing of Cull the Destroyer, and another Marvel mag or two, which is better left to Stan the Man to reveal in his best soapbox style. So he's pretty busy. As for the FF, I leave them in the two capable hands of lively Len Wein, who's no mean slouch at chronicling Baxter Building doings himself. Well, actually, I leave issue 182 in 6 capable hands, since next ish was done by Len in conjunction with Jim Straight Shooter and alliterative, epitaphless Archie Goodwin. But you know what I mean. See you in the other funny papers, pilgrims, and don't be a stranger. Here, Roy Thomas. And here's a little advertisement for What If #2. What if the Hulk had always had the brain of Bruce Banner? That'll be coming up soon in this video series, because I have almost all of the What If comics. But that's Roy Thomas's final issue on the Fantastic Four. I don't know if he ever comes back. I know he comes back to write, what is it? Fantastic Four. There was a series in the 1990s that he wrote, Fantastic Four title. It was like a double-sized series. I can't remember the name of it right now. But I don't know if he ever came back to this. Does anybody else? Does anybody know? Please comment down below. And if there's any other old nerds out there that you know of other than us that would like to watch this video, please share it with them. Give me a subscribe if you would. I'd love to have you around. Comment down below with anything you know about the Fantastic Four. Give me a like. I appreciate you watching. Stick around for more. I got a lot more of my collection to read. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.